I used to love taking the train. I would take the train from New York to Boston on several occasions. But that all changed after this one incident. It was a cold October morning of 2012. I was taking the train to visit my best friend who lived in another state. I was at the train station waiting to get on the train when I noticed a stranger was looking at me. I tried to look at my phone just so they would think I was talking to someone. A few minutes went by and I looked up again and the stranger had vanished. I sighed in relief and just brushed it off. The train whistle blew, and I grabbed my belongings and hopped on the train. The minute I walked into my passenger seat, I saw the stranger again. I sat down as quickly as I could so he wouldn't notice me. I started to get an uneasy feeling about this stranger. I looked back at the stranger just to get a close glimpse of him, and he looked very mysterious. Something about him was just so off putting. I texted my best friend and told him about this mysterious stranger on the train. I even sent them a pic of him to show him what he looked like. My best friend was so shocked and told me to keep my distance from him as much as possible. A few minutes had passed and the train started to move. I was looking at my phone, picking a song from Spotify, when I felt the seat next to me move. I jumped as I looked and saw the stranger sitting next to me. I gasped and he put his hand over my mouth. "Look here, young lady, this is a warning. This isn't an ordinary train." I looked confused and I told him I was going to see my best friend. "What location?" he asked. I told him I was going to New Jersey. His eyes widened and said, "Yeah, you're not going to New Jersey." I kind of chuckled thinking he was just messing with me, but the way he gave me that dead eye look, I realized he was being serious. I texted my best friend and told him what the stranger told me. My best friend didn't believe one word and told me he was just messing with my brain. After I texted my best friend, the train went into a tunnel and everything was pitch black. I started to panic and reached for my phone to call my best friend. There was no signal on my phone. I checked the time and it was 12 p.m. I knew I was supposed to be in New Jersey by 12 p.m. All of a sudden, the train was slowing down. I got up to see the conductor to see what was going on. As soon as I went to the front of the train, I noticed the conductor had passed out on the wheel. I tried to wake the conductor, but there was no movement. I checked his pulse, but sadly there was nothing. I took my fingers off his neck and saw the blood on my fingers. I checked his neck and saw there was a big cut like someone took a knife to his throat and cut it. I screamed at the top of my lungs. Then out of nowhere, the train started to move again. I fell to the ground, but I also wondered why this is happening. I wonder if that warning that stranger said was actually true. Could there be a killer after me? I started walking back to my seat and saw a horrifying scene. Most of the passengers were dead. I couldn't believe my eyes and started taking pictures on my phone. I looked at my phone to see tons of missed calls and messages from my best friend wondering where I was at. I sent them all the pics I took. My best friend started freaking out and told me to get off the train. I was about to get off the train when I saw writing on the wall that said, "I'm coming to get you." I took a pic and sent it to my friend. My friend then called and was crying and screaming, telling me to get off the train and run. I got off the train and started to run. And all of a sudden, my phone went off. I answered the phone and said, "Hello?" An unknown voice said, "You think you can run? Well, I know where I could find you. The game is about to begin." I started to run as quickly as I could. I heard the voice from behind me saying, "I can see you." There's nowhere to run. I quickly ran into the woods to be hidden. I texted my best friend and told him there was someone after me. My friend started freaking out. I continued to run and I ran as fast as I could, but all of a sudden I tripped over a twig and fell to the ground. I checked for any cuts or bruises, but luckily I was okay. That was when I heard footsteps from behind me. I heard that voice that called on my phone. "It's the same voice," I said. I hid behind the shrubs. That was when the person stopped right in front of the shrubs I was hiding behind. I put my hand over my mouth so the person wouldn't hear me breathe quickly. Then the person kept on walking. This was my cue to get up and run. When I started running, I heard footsteps running after me. I managed to get out of the woods safely, but I collapsed into a person's arm. That person was the police. "I know who you are," said the officer. "You do?" I asked. "You're Mariah's best friend." "Yes, I am," I said. "How did you find me?" The officer explained that Mariah called 911 after she saw the pics you took. She was able to locate where you were. "Are you okay?" the officer asked. "I am now," I said. "You saved me." The officer told the crew to look into the woods while he took me to my best friend. I finally arrived at the location I was supposed to be at. My best friend ran to me, crying her eyes out and hugging me as tight as she could. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I'm a bit shaken up, but being here with you, I'm okay," I said. We thanked the officer for our help and we went our way. Few years later had passed and I decided I no longer wanted to take trains. I was able to get a passport and now I take planes wherever I travel. I still haven't told my parents, thinking they wouldn't believe me, but I just hope they caught that person who was after me, and I hope I don't, or anyone in that matter, have to experience anything like this.